This unit right here cost the donors from Troops Direct provide this, and the total cost about $70,000 for this item. Yeah, and although not the cheapest thing in town, we realized that you know, a piece of training equipment like this, with it available to over 90 departments in the greater Denver area, is going to serve millions of people that live in the area. And so when you say, gee, is $70,000 worth it? Absolutely, when you can save countless lives on unparalleled training like this. So that's why when we had the opportunity to work with the agencies here and Dr. McCardle, and in conjunction with TACMED, and find the way to make this happen, we just tightened up our boots, went out and did it. So when you look at things that happened with Columbine, Aurora, all those things, and then you have the opportunity to go back into that area and help to make sure that if it were ever to happen again, because we never know, but if we were able to help to the point where if it ever to happen again, the training would be at such a standard that more lives would be saved. Hey, that does absolutely come into play. So, I mean, this is a special piece of equipment, make no doubt about it. I don't think that Cops Direct would supply us to, a Mayberry department somewhere that didn't have a genuine and immediate need for it. But, reputation out here is one that warrants something like this, absolutely. What I heard was 90 departments in the greater area. So when you multiply 90 departments times the civilian population of every one of those departments, that's a lot of civilians. It's also a lot of law enforcement agents that are going to be able to hopefully never need to be treated based on what's learned here, but it's good to have it.
We have a partnership with an organization called Cops Direct. They're a 501(c)(3) that's based out in California, and their main mission is to raise funds and then in turn donate medical equipment to law enforcement. So tourniquets, bandages, IFACs, mass casualty systems, things of that nature, which we provide, we manufacture, and we market. We also do very high fidelity, high-tech simulation systems so that people can actually learn how to use the equipment effectively. This is the first opportunity where we have donated one of these systems through Cops Direct. And again, Cops Direct is the one that raised the funds and actually facilitated the donation. I was basically the middleman, just helping find a place to land this thing. And the whole reason I chose here is this is the state that started medicine and law enforcement because of Columbine. I'm excited about this. I view it as kind of the pilot proof of concept project for it to be a regional asset where different agencies can have access to it. I'm excited to see what the agencies here do with it. So the folks in our company that do this are the original special effects people for Lucasfilms. So all the really good movies, Star Wars, E.T., they did those special effects, and we inherited their artistry and their capabilities, and paired with medical direction, came up with this system to be able to do medical simulations. We call them an upper and a lower, and you can actually separate them if you just needed to do individual task training. So if all I wanted to do was work on skills that were affiliated with intubation or needle decompression, I can just pull out the upper. Or if all I wanted to do was tourniquet drills, I can just pull out the lower. But then they connect together to make a singular, portable human being. There's a gunshot wound in the right thigh that replicates an arterial bleed. There is an inguinal wound that requires wound packing in the pelvis. So a wound that you can't get a tourniquet on that requires like the combat gauze or something like that. You can do a tibial IO, that's more of a paramedic RN level skill, but that is able for people to work on if they have that skill set. You can do different types of symptoms with the eyes. So like right now, he's got a blown pupil and a normal one that's kind of indicative of a head wound, okay? And then you can rotate it back into normal if you didn't want to have that in play. But you can do a nasopharyngeal airway, full intubation, surgical crike. You can do a sternal and humerus interosseous line as well. You can do bilateral needle decompression. You can start an IV on this guy, and when the student puts the needle in, they actually get a red flash of blood. Functioning sucking chest wound. This thing will replicate tension pneumothorax, so the lungs collapsing, so one side will quit going up and down. And I never want to say desensitize people to it, but you can get them acclimatized to it and used to working with an actual trauma patient. If the first time they get to operate in a situation like this is with the guy on the side of the road, that can be pretty daunting. So the goal is to get them as close to that as we possibly can in a safe training setting so that they will perform that much better when it's the actual real event. I trained a lot of the people here yesterday. The officers from all the different agencies came out to get FAM fired on it, familiarized with it, and you could already see the wheels turning as far as what they were wanting to do and getting excited about the opportunity to put it in play.